G'day guys, Fitcho here, and today I've got a last to first challenge with Johann Zarco here at the Le Mans, the host of the French Grand Prix. Of course, the race was just 2 days ago on the weekend, and I was planning to have this video out before the race on Sunday, but I was going away for the weekend and I just didn't quite get it done in time. But nonetheless, I thought it'd be a fun little challenge, so I want to do it anyway. Of course, the French Grand Prix, we've got to go with the French rider, and who was also the pole sitter for Sunday's race, Johann Zarco. As the title says, last to first challenge. We are starting right at the back of the field, and hopefully we can make our way all the way up to the front. Let's do it.
Bikes have taken their places on the grid, and the light is about to go out any second now. This is when the riders have to clear their minds completely so they can give it everything they've got.
Here we go. We're on the grid here in Le Mans, right at the back. 10 laps is on the board. The lights are on. And as lights out, and away we go for this French Grand Prix. It's been a good launch offline, already making up a few positions. We sneak up the inside of Tito Rabat as we head up towards the first corner. The Dunlop corner, hard on the brakes through the fast right hander. Let the bike run out a little bit wide. As now on the brakes we go for the chicane. Up the inside of Bautista we go. We get very, very wide for the second part of that chicane. Nice exit. We sneak past Jack Miller, who's got a line just a little bit wrong as we come down the hill to La Chapelle. This is where I think it was Inoni got it all wrong on lap number 1 of the Grand Prix on the weekend. As now we get out on the curb a little bit, getting a little bit loose. Is now going to look up the inside of Scott Redding into, I forget the name of this corner, struggling to get the power down, leaving a little bit of a licorice strap there on the track. That is not what we want to be doing so early in this 10-lap race, as the tyres it will start to hurt us in the latter phase of this Grand Prix as we hurt the tyres a bit too much. So we just cut across the grass there ever so slightly, just struggling through Garage Vert. I think that's what you call that corner, and that is where Johann Zarco actually got it all wrong in the real-life Grand Prix. Now we are hounding the back of Cal Crutchlow on his LCR Honda. Can we sneak up the inside into this next tight right-hander? Yes, we can. We're going to make that move stick and get up into the top 10, just get back across to the apex and cut off any sort of switchback that the Briton was trying. Is now up the inside of our teammate Jonas Folger, and we are now into 9th. Can we also get up the inside of Espargaro? Yes, we can. Into the final corner, we get way too deep into the second of the two right-handers in that position. Goes straight back to Espargaro as now Folger is coming past us, and here comes Scott Redding as well on the Pramac Ducati as we head into the Dunlop corner, trying something aggressive on the brakes. We are forced to the outside, and here comes Cal Crutchlow back up the inside, back up the inside of Scott Redding, I should say, into the second part of the Dunlop chicane, and we take that position back as we're popping a wheelie as we come over that hill. A very tricky section of the track is now through La Chapelle, around to the outside of our teammate Jonas Folger. We're getting way too wide and getting far too much wheel spin this early in the Grand Prix, but back up the inside we go of our Tech 3 teammate and up the inside of Espargaro, and we should be able to get this move done this time and up into 8th place. We've just run ever so wide out onto the grass, and yes, I think we have got those moves done, but no, we've done exactly what Zarco did in real life and gone too deep into Garage Vert and lost many, many places. Very aggressive coming back onto the track there, a little bit of contact. As now we push past Scott Redding to the outside of Espargaro, hard on the brakes. We're going a little bit late. We're going to dive up the inside of Folger, and we somehow keep that on the island and make that move stick back into 8th place. And while we are having an epic battle, and I'm sure you're all enjoying it, this is not helping our charge through the field up to the front as Scott Redding now dives up our inside as Folger almost tried it into the third last corner. So we've run very, very wide. Is now up the inside of the final corner on Scott Redding. We've run a little bit deep, and he capitalizes on that and chucks his bike back up the inside and retakes that 8th position. But like I was trying to say, while this battle is epic, it's really not helping us with this whole last to first challenges. We're already onto the 3rd lap of this 10-lap Grand Prix. To the outside of, I think that was Scott Redding, we go into the Dunlop chicane. We just run a little bit too deep, and he gets us back as we are fighting the bike to pull it back for the second phase of that chicane. Oh, we've hit him, oh my lord, his bike's just come back across the track and hit us. Is there a replay mode on this game? There isn't? I did not realize there was not a replay mode on this game. I honestly thought there was. Hopefully that's something they do introduce. But I hit Scott, I think it was Scott Redding, was it? Back across the track, and then his bike came back across and hit us, and instant karma, I guess you could call that, and fair enough, we've lost a lot of ground just there, and somehow we are still right with Scott Redding, right on the back of his Pramac Ducati as we head down the back straight here at Le Mans. Can we sneak up the inside of Redding here? No, we can't. We just get pulled a bit too tight there and run off the track, but now around the outside, we're off the track yet again. I'm really struggling to keep this on the island. We get that move done. We are past Scott Redding and his Kamikaze bike as we've now got Alex Rins on the Suzuki just in front of us. We start lap number 4 of 10 of this French Grand Prix, and things really haven't quite gone to plan so far, but it has been action-packed as we head through the Dunlop curve and into the Dunlop chicane for the 4th time in this race. We're right on the back of Rins around the... Oh, we've picked him up or picked ourselves up and actually hit him off his bike. That was a little bit clumsy from myself, I will admit. I haven't played this game much recently. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of bike games before the new MotoGP 18 game comes out in just a couple of weeks, so I'm not completely rusty when that game comes out, because I cannot wait for that, and I definitely want to do a career mode on that game, and hopefully I can get further through it than I have in the last 2 years. I definitely want to get all the way through to winning a MotoGP World Championship. That is my promise this year. At least make it through a whole season into MotoGP and hopefully win the title, as we've got our countryman. Okay, I'm actually Johann Zarco, so he's not my countryman today, but in real life my countryman Jack Miller just in front of us. Right on the back of Jack Miller on his Mark VDS Honda, we're going to sneak up the inside with a nice switchback line. There is now into the final 2 corners. He's trying to push back up our inside. He pushes me a little bit wide and retakes 12th position. A good move there from Jack. He puts up a little bit of a fight, exactly what I expect from such a talented rider. Is up through the Dunlop. Oh no, we've binned it. We've binned it. Yep, that's this done. There is no way we are going to get to first in this race. Oh, now I've just knocked Tito Rabat off his bike. I feel bad there. I was too busy explaining how I'm not going to win this race like the challenge says I should, and we are now back into 18th position with Loris Baz. I think that is Alvaro Bautista just in front of him. This race really has not gone to plan. You can just tell how rusty I am at this game. I've done no practice before this, but we're going to go up the inside of Baz and Alex Lowe's, as now I've got Alvaro Bautista just in front of us. As we are at the halfway point of this race, can we just sneak up the inside of Garage Vert? Yes, we can. Very aggressive. Pushed him out a little bit wide, backed the bike in. We got it stopped, we made the corner, and we made that overtake stick, and we're now back into the top 15. So we are in a points-paying position, which is good, I guess, but it's not really what we want, considering I was trying to win today's race in this challenge. Try to get a nice exit off the last 2 corners, right on the back of Hector Barbara as we come down the main straight towards the Dunlop corner. Can we try something aggressive, possibly around the outside of Barbara? We've now got the inside line for the Dunlop chicane. We've gone in a little bit too deep. We're just going to try to block him off at the apex of the corner, and we make that move stick, now up into 14th place. We are right on the back of Jack Miller again. Can we send it up his inside, try to pull it back to the apex, or try to block off the switchback, but now he's up our inside into the left hand, ever so careful on the power around the outside. We have the inside line for the final 2 corners. We should be able to make this move stick on the Aussie, and we do. Up into 13th place. I'm not too sure who is up next in front of us. It looks like Scott Redding, but here comes Jack Miller back at us. Oh, I've forgotten to turn into the Dunlop corner, and that's just going to give him that position. A little bit of contact on the back of the bike. We get past him, and then he dives back up our inside. We switch back through the first part of the chicane, and then we switch back again through the second part of that chicane, and we get that move done as we come down the hill. The rear tire absolutely screaming for grip, and we make that move stick up into 13th place on lap number 8 of 10 here in France. You can just see how much I'm starting to struggle with that rear tire. I've been far too aggressive. I'm trying to wean myself off some of the traction control that I do normally use, trying to get myself a bit better at these bike games, and I'm starting to really hurt with the rear tire wear because of that, as now we've sent it far too deep into Garage Vert corner, and Miller is going to get that position back so easily, just giving that to him on a plate, and we're back down to 14th with 2 laps and a little bit still to go here in Le Mans. And we try a cheeky switch back through the third last corner. Not quite, but we do get a good run, a good enough run to send it up the inside of the second last corner. And I think we have made that move stick as we end lap number 8 to start the penultimate lap of this French Grand Prix, and we have made that move stick up into 13th place. And with 2 laps to go, I'd say we're a bit too far back off Scott Redding and whoever he is fighting, which it looks like. Is that possibly Alvaro Bautista? I'm not too sure. I can't quite tell. It looks kind of yellow, but I could be wrong at this distance. But Miller could not fight back into the Dunlop chicane, so I think we've fought him off and got that position done. That's actually Cal Crutchlow just up ahead of us on the LCR Honda with a lap and just under 2 laps to go, I should say. And these two fighting, maybe, just maybe, we can get into the fight with these two, possibly get up into 11th or 12th place. The two Brits are absolutely going hammer and tong right now, and as you can see, we are right up to the back of Cal Crutchlow's bike as we start the final lap here in Le Mans. Can we make up any more positions? Get a little bit... Oh, no, we're not going to make up any more positions because I've just thrown it off the road yet again. And are we going to lose a position to Jack Miller? Yes, we are, as now we get hit by Alvaro Bautista and we're off again on the ground. Let's try this one more time. We're into the 20s now. We're 20th place, so it looks like Carol Abraham is right on our rear wheels. We head through La Chapelle and I've gone so deep. Is he going to sneak up our inside? No, he is not. Now our fight is just to hang on to a top 20 position right now. This was not how this race was meant to go. This is the last to first challenge. I start last. I was... This is the last to last challenge, pretty much. This is terrible. The point of this challenge was to start last and try to win the race. Instead, I've started last, I've fallen down about 6 times, and I'm going to finish last. Great challenge I've just put together. Executed perfectly, as Maverick Viñales has actually won a race, which... This is a 2017 game, so that is definitely possible, but looking at the current season, it seems a little bit out there because he had an absolute shocker in real life here in France, as now we just have to cruise along, no bikes around us whatsoever, and we're going to come home in last place after starting last with the intention of winning the Grand Prix, but that has not happened. I guess things don't always go your way in racing, and this is one of my bogey tracks on this game, and I haven't played it in a while, so... It was to be expected that I'd be a little bit rusty, but I wanted to get this rust out of my system before the new game comes out in just over 2 weeks, and we're just going to cruise across the line on our rear wheel, and there we go. The last to first challenge epically failed as we've gone last to last. So, there we go, an epic failure of the last to first challenge as we've gone last to last, like I think I've said a few times, finishing 45 seconds off the leader Maverick Viñales in the end, but nonetheless there was some good battling in there and a few interesting incidents with kamikaze bikes coming across the track out of nowhere, which really caught me by surprise. You've probably noticed in the commentary, I was a little bit shocked when that happened. I did not expect to have a bike just come flying across the track as I'm going through that turn 5, that long, tight left-hander. That really caught me by surprise, but that's racing. Things don't always go your way, and I've epically failed the challenge, but I hope nonetheless you have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you do leave a like on the video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe for much more MotoGP content, especially when the new game comes out in just under 3 weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.